Why would we go away from the Fighting Cignettis? Indiana laying 14. It's 14.5 at some books. I got it 13.5 early in the week. I would buy the half point from 14.5 to 14. They've won all 9 games by 14 or more. They had never trailed all season long until last year last week at Michigan State. Sparty jumped on them 10-0 in the first quarter, and all they did was score 47 unanswered. Curtis Rourke was back after missing 1.5 games. 4 touchdowns, no picks, 263 passing yards. He now has a 19-3 TDI&T ratio, and Michigan has lost 3 of its last 4. They're mired in a 1-4 ATS slump. All 4 Michigan losses have been by double-digit margins. They're 0-2, both straight up in ATS in 2 road games. And make matters worse, their star corner, Will Johnson, preseason All-American, projected first-round pick. He's missed back-to-back games, and he and the other starting corner are both questionable. I like Indiana minus 14, and I will also have a small play on them minus 7.5 in the first half.
I ran into now maybe they're just in a terrible state of mind right now, but I will tell you I ran into one of the biggest Michigan fans that I know personally, and I asked him about this weekend, and he was like, "They are going to kill us." I was like, "Oh." I mean, I never in my lifetime did I ever think I would hear a Michigan fan say Indiana is going to kill us this weekend. That may be his greatest accomplishment.
Yeah.
That may be his greatest accomplishment, Kirk Cignetti, for an Indiana fan to have said to me, or a Michigan fan to have said to me, I think Indiana is going to kill us this weekend.
And they've never won 10 games in program history. They've been playing since 1887. They've won 9 twice in 1945 and 1967, and they're 9-0. And they're going to be 10-0 after tomorrow.
Let me ask you real quickly, Brian, about the bracket that came out earlier this week. Remember? The playoff bracket. The playoff bracket.
Oh, yeah.
The playoff rankings. And then they put them in a bracket like it would look. Like, if the playoffs started today, here's what it would be. One of them was Indiana at Tennessee, right?
Uh-huh.
That was one that popped off immediately. You're like, whoa, that would be cool, right? Because it's at Tennessee. Would you favor Indiana at Tennessee? Because it said that Tennessee would be, like, I think it was a reasonable favorite against Indiana. And I was like, man, I wouldn't favor Tennessee against them. But I don't know.
Yeah, I think Tennessee would be favored about 5 or 6, but I would be on Indiana.
Yeah, me too. I think I saw 5 or 6. I think you're right. Crazy.
So they're 9.5 at Ohio State. So after this game tomorrow, they've got an open date, 2 weeks to prepare for Ohio State, and FanDuel's got Ohio State minus 9.5 to Indiana.
That's incredible. At Ohio State?
Yep.
Wow. All right, Indiana over Michigan. You like Indiana first half as well. All right, what else we got?
Okay. I played Cincinnati a lot this year. But mostly as underdogs, and they've been minus 5 all week. And I was just thinking, that's too much. Maybe I'll do a money line parlay with them and somebody else. But I noticed this morning they were down to 3.5. So I'll buy it to 3, and I'll go Bearcats minus 3 at home to West Virginia. So their 2 Big 12 home games, they beat Houston 34-0 and Arizona State 24-14. West Virginia's lost 2 of 3, both straight up and against the spread. Lost by 12 at home to Iowa State, lost 45-18 at home to K-State. Now, they did get a win at Arizona, and West Virginia's backup quarterback played good because Garrett Green was out for that game, and he's doubtful for this game. So it's going to be the backup, but he did play good at Arizona, but Arizona's defense is not good. And I think we've got the QB advantage with Brendan Sorsby, 15-4 TDI&T ratio, and 6 rushing touchdowns. I'll go with Cincy buying the half point to minus 3 at home to West Virginia.
All right, so you like Indiana, you like Cincinnati. What's next?
Vandy. So I liked them at 3.5. I bought it to 4. And then I wake up this morning and it moved to 5.5. And then a couple hours later it moved to 6.5. So I just put more on it, buying the half point to 7. Vandy 6-0 against the spread as an underdog this year with 4 outright wins. Their 3 losses this year by margins of 3 again in overtime, and by 4. And they're catching 6.5. Look, I don't have anything bad about to say about
we
South
say
Carolina.
this every week. Nobody believes in them. Like, they still can't. The lines makers do this every week against them. It's weird.
Yeah. I mean, look, South Carolina's playing good, and I don't have anything bad to say about them. but I made this game a pick'em, and South Carolina was gunning for that game last week. They had 2 weeks to prepare. It was a night game at home. They were really gunning for that one, and they haven't lost to Vandy since '08. So I think that makes this a little bit of a flat spot. But, I mean, I don't really – that's just gravy. I mean, I like Vandy +7.
What time is this game? This feels like the most Jefferson Pilot game ever.
Right?
Yeah, what is this?
Somebody else said that to me yesterday.
3:15, I think, SEC
Oh,
Network.
no.
Yeah.
This needs to be 11 o'clock with 3 Daves. For sure.
Well, with the bad JP graphics.
And the Texas Pete hot sauce ads.
Yes.
Golden Flake.
Golden Flake, Texas
Actually,
Pete.
I feel like Vandy has earned the right to not be on the SEC Network for 1 week. Come on.
Yeah,
Put them on
3:15.
ESPN. They haven't deserved that?
The JP game, technically, if we're going 11 a.m. SEC, is Florida, Texas. That's 11 a.m. on ABC.
Dang.
Yeah.
How the mighty have fallen. All right. Indiana, Cincinnati, Vandy. Who else you like?
Well, I don't really have anything that I've
Okay, then we got to
to.
get these other games. I got to get your thoughts on these.
Yeah.
Georgia, Ole Miss.
Georgia. Just because of the Ole Miss injury report, Trey Harris is doubtful. Best receiver in the country, in my opinion.
Hold on. That kid at Ohio State's okay, and so is the one at
he's
Bama.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. They are. They're in the conversation for sure. But, I mean, if you've looked at Ole Miss's injury report, I mean, they got so many studs that are – I mean, Parrish, the best running back's out. The running back 2, Matt Jones, is doubtful. Trey Harris is doubtful. Now, they upgraded Jordan Watkins and the starting center from doubtful to questionable yesterday, which kind of makes me think Lane might be just playing games here. But
I think he is too. You know what I thought when he was doing that report, when he was doing the – what's it called, the injury report? I thought they're going after Ole Miss. They're targeting them with this whole if you're not injured, we're fining you, like laying down after you get a first down stuff. And so now he's just going to put everybody on the injury report, and that way everybody can lay down. Because then you could say, but they were on the injury report. The guy is clearly injured. Like, he was injured going into the game.
right.
He is diabolical like that.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't buy that many guys are injured. But what I do buy is, I told Roser this. This was earlier this year when they were playing that big Texas game, and they put up that graphic that Kirby Smart was 50-0 in the last 50 versus anybody not named Bama. Like,
right.
Oh, okay. Like,
Right.
Literally, his only losses are to Bama. It's like 4 times.
And Ole Miss doesn't win. This is the game Lane Kiffin doesn't win. He's never won. He doesn't win this game there.
Yeah.
Well,
It's going to be a madhouse, though, and I don't trust Carson Beck.
Yeah,
he's thrown 8 interceptions in 3 games.
Yeah.
8.
Yeah.
But I mean,
11 in 4 games.
Crazy.
Yeah.